Hi YouTube, my name is Cam and I've been covering Taylor Swift and celeb gossip for 4 years on my podcast, blog, and TikTok. Hey guys, I just got done with the edit and I noticed I do not look at the camera too much during this video. You can tell I'm reading from a script. In future videos, I will have that worked out. I'm working on a teleprompter setup as we speak, but for this video, bear with me. You can tell I'm reading a little bit, but enjoy the video. I'm now sticking my nose over into YouTube at the request of some of my listeners, and I just wanted to take a second to introduce myself and tell you why you should give a what I say at all. There's tons of people who hop online and cover celeb gossip, so I'm guessing you're wondering, why should I listen to her? And it's a fair question. It seems like everyone has a hot takes account these days, and blind item writers seem to publish anything that gets sent into them. Celeb gossip is a dime a dozen these days, and Taylor Swift in particular is a lightning rod that draws commentary from all over the world. So let me introduce myself. Like I said, I'm Cam. I cover Taylor Swift and gossip on my podcast. The podcast is called What I Will Say. What I really want to do is introduce my track record to you guys. Before I break out into all the fun video essays that I want to do on this channel, I want to show you why I have some credibility and why 20% of my listener base is subscribed to my Patreon. If you don't know, that's a pretty good conversion number to have from a follow. It's hard to find data on what's a good conversion rate, but Reddit estimates that anywhere from 1 and 5% of a following will convert to a Patreon. So 20% is a pretty strong number, and I'm really proud of that. And I have that loyal 20% because I vet my sources in a way that most people who share blind items or gossip or spill tea simply don't, and I can prove it to you. The simple tea hashtag on my blog, whatIwillsay.tumblr.com, is readily available to the public, and you can verify all of what I'm about to say for yourself. But basically, if I put something in that tea hashtag, it is from a verified insider. I have vetted myself to prove that they have insider connections. These are all types of people from all over the industry and different social circles that come to me for a little gossip sesh. And this is why you should give a about what I have to say if you're into pop culture and celeb gossip. Let's talk about stuff I've put on this tea hashtag before it was public knowledge. So let's go back to August 21st, 2022. Somebody asked me, what do you think the 2023 tour will be? Loverfest, Volts, Folkmore? So they're talking about Taylor's next tour, next project. I knew that TS10 was around the corner. A little birdie had tipped me off of this, so I said TS10. This is on August 21st, 2022. And then on August 28th, Taylor announced Midnights at the VMAs. I will say, obviously, the Eras Tour was more than just a TS10 or Midnights tour, but basically, I heard it was coming soon, which is why I said that'd be the next tour. August 21st was a week before it got announced, and it was a good insider that shared that tip. Since I posted it publicly before Midnights was announced, you know I had the inside track. I then got some tea about the Anti-Hero music video right before it came out on October 20th, 2022, and here you can see I'm sharing some details about the music video the day before it came out. Similarly, I got tea about the Lavender Haze music video the day before it came out as well on January 26th, and I shared that all publicly before the music video aired the next day. Moving on into 2023, on May 5th, 2023, I heard that Speak Now was going to be announced later that night at the Eras Tour, and that was correct. And that was a fun one because the insider was actually one of our Discord members, and they came through and spilled this little bit of tea for us, and we all got to see it before it was live, so that was really fun. On May 21st, I shared that I had heard the next Olivia Rodrigo album, or OR2, was going to be right around the corner. And I will say, I think Olivia actually posted to Instagram that day too, teasing new music. I hadn't seen that post on Instagram when I made my Tumblr post about it, spilling the tea, but just to be clear, I did go ahead and share some more specific, detailed tea about when to expect the first single, and I said it would be June 30th for a single drop date. Then later, on June 30th, the following month, Vampire was released as the lead single of Guts. So sharing that specific June 30th release date, I think, is a little more credible than just saying new music's coming soon. A lot of people were saying new music's coming soon, so yes, I did know when the lead single would drop as well, and that was correct. On May 25th, I shared that Sabrina Carpenter would be on the International Eras Tour. And mind you, this was before an International Eras Tour was even announced. About a month later, on June 20th, the International Eras Tour got announced, and Sabrina was announced as an opener for the International Tour around that same time as well, at the end of June. Again, this is a month before this goes public, and I've got the information. How do I have that information? I had a good vetted source share that with me, and I trusted them, and they were right. On January 16th, 2024, I heard all about how Taylor had just filmed a music video in LA, and excitedly shared that we had a music video coming. I didn't know what it was for, but of course later we found out that would be for the Fortnite music video, and that is how we were sort of clued in that new content was coming. No, we didn't know exact specifics, but we did know a music video had been filmed. I also got tea later on April 15th and shared it publicly that Fortnite would be the lead single and that she would do a Fortnite challenge on social media. This was confirmed on April 18th when Fortnite was indeed announced as the lead single, and she debuted that Fortnite challenge that night on the 18th, or maybe early on the 19th. 13th as well. On May 1st of 2024, I confirmed that I had heard Hailey Bieber was pregnant, and she did confirm that later on May 9th. I'm not saying any of this is super groundbreaking or life-changing gossip or means that I'm a seer or a psychic or should be trusted on every single thing. I'm just showing that again and again, I have shared private information on my blog publicly before that information then was later revealed to be true. I have some credibility. On August 20th, 2024, I shared tea that Florence Welch would be on stage at the Eras Tour, and later that night, she did indeed go up on stage on the Eras Tour. And in October of 2024, both Shawn Mendes and Joe Jonas moved their album releases back a week. People speculated that it was due to Taylor and that she would drop something that day, but I heard from a source this wasn't true. I assured people this was not the case. I actually heard that they only moved their albums back, Joe Jonas and Shawn Mendes, because nobody was pre-ordering them, and so they moved them back some amount of time to try and garner more pre-orders. And yeah, it had nothing to do with Taylor. I assured people there would not be an album drop from Taylor on October the 18th, and I was right about that. She did not drop anything. But I will say, that they did not have enough pre-orders. I will say both Joe Jonas and Shawn Mendes. No hate, no shade, especially not Shawn Mendes. I really like him. Joe Jonas, I don't know. I think I'm Team Sophie Turner and all that. But it's kind of funny that they didn't have the pre-orders to justify dropping their albums when they originally wanted to, if my source was correct. There's a few other things I've shared over the years. Obviously, I've shared lots of stories and tidbits I've heard. A lot of it's on my Patreon. A story I heard about Taylor and Jake Gyllenhaal in a hotel room. A story I heard about Barack Obama. I've heard gossip about Selena Gomez, Katy Perry, any one of the main pop girls, you name it. I probably have a gossip episode on my Patreon. And obviously, some of these things will never be confirmed. I can share a rumor I heard about Taylor Swift and Jake Gyllenhaal back in the day, and nobody's ever going to come out and be like, wait, yes, this is true. Taylor herself is not going to get on Twitter and say, so true, Cam, from what I will say, this definitely happened. So obviously, some of the gossip I share that's about people's personal lives or just little rumors or tidbits here and there, it can't be verified. But I do make the effort when things will go public later, such as Hailey Bieber announcing that she's pregnant. Obviously, if she's pregnant, that will come out sooner or later. I make the effort to share things like that publicly on my blog before it goes public to garner credibility. There's a few other things I can't find posts for right now. I know I suggested that Taylor would be supportive to Sabrina Carpenter throughout the fall of 2024, and then Sabrina was brought back as a special guest for one of the Eras tours, I think down in Louisiana. And there's things I've gotten wrong too. I think I posted that Billy and Charlie would diss Taylor on the guest remix, and that really wasn't right. And I kind of found out later my source had kind of shared something that was more fan speculation and not like tea from an insider. So obviously sometimes things get lost in translation, and you always have to take a huge grain of salt with gossip. I would never act like my word is gospel. Obviously no one's going to be right 100% of the time, but I have a pretty good track record. If you'll notice throughout the years, I only post so much vetted tea, and that is because you only get so much good vetted tea. If there's somebody who's posting like, oh my god, this rumor, oh my god, this celeb did this, oh my god, this celeb did this every single day, there's no way all of it can be true, right? For me, it's sort of quality over quantity, I guess. And that's not to throw shade at other people who do other types of blind item stuff. For example, I find Duma really entertaining, and I listen to her podcast sometimes. I find her funny, and I enjoy the stories she shares on there. And I actually feel like she does a decent job of like trying to remind people that this is more for entertainment and not necessarily 100% news all the time. So that's no hate, no shade to some people who post different types of content. Or for example, like celebrity psychics. I know Aphrodite has a huge following and people love him. I would never do that kind of content. That's really not for me. My tagline of my podcast is evidence-based gossip, which is kind of an oxymoron, but at the same time, it's just how I try to approach things. And you'll see with my track record here, it kind of works, right? I would say probably 70 to 80% of the things I post in the verified tea hashtag end up being correct, which is, like I said, a pretty great track record. This is why I have such a good patron conversion rate despite a modest following. People know that things I'm going on my Patreon I'm sharing are true. But the good news is you don't have to subscribe to my Patreon to get the tea. I share a lot of it on my blog. I share a lot of it on my main feed of podcasts, and get excited because I'm about to start sharing it all here on YouTube. But yeah, when you hear me doing a video essay on Taylor Swift and Karlie Kloss's falling out, or the questions and speculations I have around Taylor Swift and Harry Styles' relationship, or what really has gone down with Shawn Mendes and Camila Cabello, and I do a video essay on that, it's not just my hunches that I'm basing my content on. I have a method for vetting sources and verifying tea that I've spent years cultivating and grooming into creating the best evidence-based gossip podcast and now YouTube channel that I can. What else should you stick around for other within verified tea. Well, I love Taylor Swift. I love discussing her Easter eggs. I love breaking down her relationships, the lore behind her music, and I love celeb gossip in general. Some of the topics I absolutely adore are celeb gossip conspiracy theories, like did Lorde and Jack Antonoff date, or did Taylor Swift secretly date Martin Johnson back in the day, and he's who Love Story is really about. I love breaking down stuff like that. And if you guys like that kind of content, help me out. Go ahead and like this video, comment on this video, and make sure to subscribe, because the videos I'm working on right now are why did Taylor Swift and Karlie Kloss fall out, what really went on with Haylor, and why were so many weird things happening around them in 2012. And I'm also working on a massive, huge video essay on why did Taylor Swift and Joe Alwyn break up, and it's gonna be a long one. I've only finished through the Reputation era, and it's already 17 pages long, so buckle up for that one. Make sure you're subscribed. I'll see you guys on the other side, and gaslight Gate Cute Girl Boss immediately. Bye everybody.